book, and
Stephanie was terrible at this book club.
I really sucked at book club.
I did
Fabulous. What?
I just had a visual. I just had a
It was a
visual.
lot.
I had a visual.
He's proud of it. Hello, everyone. We have made it. It's Friday, and I'm very excited. I've had the longest week. I don't know about you, Michael, but this week, it's not been my friend. It's not been my friend.
It's certainly been a week that it's earned its weekend.
Yes. Yes, and yes. So we've got Michael Blackard that is joining us on the show, who I don't even know how to even jump into it. You just took a new job. You just finished EforAll. You just finished another coaching program. So I'm going to let you pitch yourself into the show because I feel like you need to.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Blackard. I am the founder of Friendom, and it is my mission to help people make friends and be better friends of themselves. And just like Stephanie said, right? I have a new job. I'm also a video game producer. I am a video game producer at a place called BitReactor, and that's all that I'm going to say on that. Thanks. Also, right? I've graduated from the Radiant Coaching Academy. Shout outs to Surya and Des and all of the people there. I am now a certified life coach. So if you are looking for help to not be lonely and rebuild that social toolbox so that you can go make friends with new people or even make better friends with yourself, I am here to help you. In fact, I have a speed friending event. Virtual. No matter where you are in the world, you can come and make friends on the 23rd of May. There's
You need
also
to send me more information
You
about
better
this.
believe it. There's also another one on the 28th. If you're in person in Austin, Texas, come to the Brutorium, which is an amazing restaurant and pub. And we're going to be doing a free spin fitting event there too. It's going to be a whole blast.
That sounds pretty epic. In fact, I have a road trip. My daughter is moving home. She is living in Southern California, and I'm driving her with all of her belongings back home. I feel like I should just stop in Austin to come and see you because hot take, everybody, if you're just joining us this morning. Cindy, thank you for being here. We've got a whole host of humans that are joining us on the show, and I'll be relating to them all the stuff that we're doing right now. But I met Michael in an EforAll forum that we were just talking about media, how to address media, how to do it better. And I was like, I invited everybody there. Let's come on my show. And this is the things that EforAll does, is kind of connect humans to other humans that are doing cool things. So I'm very excited that you're continuing on and all of the things that you did. Talk to me about the Radiant Life Academy here. Where did you find this?
Oh my gosh. So in that same vein of EforAll connecting all these people, right? In at least my entrepreneur journey, and I hope that it's yours too, you go to these different networking events, you go to these different ways to bolster yourself, and you'll end up meeting people. And the more that you share yourself, the more that they're going to want to share with you. And I got to meet this wonderful person. I don't know the ups and downs when it comes to name bombing people and name dropping. So just to spare them additional attention, in case they don't want it, I met somebody who is just fabulous, wonderful. They are also a coach. They are also a PMP. They're also all of these other acronyms that I just aspire to. They're amazing. And they're like, you need to meet the people at the Radiant Coaching Academy. And I was like, okay, I have been told that I should be a life coach, but I haven't had my life together. So wait, what? Those who do not do coach?
I don't think that the two of them need to go together. I am also one of those peoples that are like, I can fix anybody else's problem. Not mine.
Isn't that the thing? It's the thing. You're always nicer to somebody else than yourself. And it's crazy. Yeah. And so I got to talk with the folks at the Radiant Coaching Academy, and it was a match made in heaven, and it felt so wonderful. And it was amazing to go through their curriculum, which has now been refreshed and updated, and they're striving to be even more impactful with their curriculum, even more than they were before. And so they're also an internationally coaching federation accredited school. And so it was an amazing experience, and I'm so thankful for it. And now as like a certified life coach, it's been one of these things of like, oh wait, I'm one of those people now. I help. I help.
You're a
And it's so
guru.
cool. It's always growth. It's always learning. It's so cool. And so
Right?
to couple that information with how I conduct business as a video game producer, which now how I conduct business as an alumni of EforAll, I'm ready to help people.
You're on the other side of the program. In fact, you graduated, and you won.
I won. It's crazy.
You had an amazing cohort. You had a lot of humans in there doing really cool things and very different from Cape Cod. EforAll is regional, so everybody's got their own little shtick. And I feel like Texas is such a melting pot of humans, and especially Austin for whatever reason, the foodies, the scene. You just have it's so diverse, and I'm so jealous. Like there's so many
Come
tastes
visit.
there. I know.
Come visit. I always tell people, if you come visit me, I'll make you fat. There's
Not
so
hard
much
to
good food
do.
here.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. And I've been here most of my life, right?
Yep.
It's one of these areas that has truly just grown, and it all every place, every one has their ups and downs, and there's always those kinds of things. But I've loved Austin so much. I've met so many wonderful people. There's, funny enough, a friend of mine that I met when I first started Friendom and was going through like, how do I network and how do I build my entrepreneurial network and all those kinds of things. One of the first people that I met, and they started a community called NetDo, similar to like, hey, we're networking, but no, we're not doing things together. And it's a wonderful, wonderful community. And I met them in Austin, and now almost 2 years after meeting them, they're joining EforAll
I
after the
love that.
cohort of me graduate. It's
It is
so
such a
cool.
great family. Melissa,
Yeah.
Eleanor, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We've got Michael Blackard that's visiting us from Austin, Texas this morning. Just wrapped up EforAll, just won. So maybe talk about Friendom just a little bit, because I love the fact that I do networking events, right? We do. I'm in the Chamber of Commerce. I'm always connecting people with other humans to kind of figure out how people can help each other. And I just did a talk to a women's group about maximizing your networking events. So I said to them, and this is a little nugget that I tell everybody, is to walk into the room and immediately assume the position of how can I help a person in there connect to somebody else and create that virtual favor card. So you're on a different level where you're creating actual friendships where people are like lonely. And especially coming from a background of video gaming, where it's like you're back here not engaging with humans in real life in the real world. Talk about Friendom.
Absolutely. So Friendom as a business, right, has the philosophy that we're not here to make you fast friends. We're here to teach you how to make friends or upskill the skills you already have and
So
the
hard.
aptitude that you absolutely. It is absolutely so hard to make friends sometimes, because I fear that a lot of people, and this is both supported in data and just anecdotally, right, are leading through veneers. They're leading through a perception that they want to give people rather than leading from themselves.
We live
And
online now.
and that's okay, because there's a survey that came out actually that I really like to remind people of, or teach people about in case they've never seen it, in that the study was going about the impact of a virtual relationship ending and how much weight it had, versus a relationship that solely was in person. And what the study found was that a virtual relationship has the same, if not more, impact than a in-person relationship ending, because it's not about the quality or the senses that you're activating. It is about what you've invested in that relationship. And so,
Okay.
especially during the lockdowns, when you don't get to see everybody, new games are coming online, you're getting to interact with all these different people. If you spent a whole year with this person and you were seeing them regularly, and then that relationship ended, that is going to hurt you. That is
Yeah.
going to leave a mark on you. And it's one of these things that I like to educate people on, because no matter how you're meeting somebody, if you are choosing that person has a relationship with you. And if you're choosing yourself in that process too, you're also building that relationship with them, because you're choosing yourself and they want more of you that you're sharing.
You
These are
have
all wins.
I honestly, I sometimes I go through it and I don't even think about it, and at the end of the day, to put it out there like what you had just said, I'm like, "Oh, that makes so much more sense." I gave my son so much grief about it because they've created their online gaming squad, and he like, these are his very real friends that he's never met. And for me as an older person to see this relationship, and I'm like, "It's so bizarre." They're sending each other DoorDash. They've never even met each other. It's like very bizarre.
It's so fascinating, and it's so new, and for a lot
Yeah.
of people, right, like new equals scary, but new is also adventurous.
Mhm.
New is also how you get your horizons broadened. And so with friendom, right, regardless if you want to work with me directly in a one-on-one setting, in our coaching, right, or if you come to one of my speed friending events, I want to be able to talk with you about your philosophies around friendship. I want to help you upskill in the how to's, right? How do you go say hello? How do you go through the parts of networking, right? And a nugget that I like to share with those, if you are somebody who's always scared of how much energy to give in an interaction,
I
if you
give
are
too much.
neurospicy, yes, absolutely. I am a neurotyp. I'm not neurotypical. Excuse me. I am
You're
neurodivergent. I am
spicy. I love that.
very neurospicy. That's a term that I've stolen from many a friend.
I
One,
appreciate that, but you
absolutely.
identify that, right? When you
Yes.
I read an article that was you had written or somebody had written about you, and you're just this beautiful butterfly of a human being, but you're like you're out there. You're like AUDHD, gender expansive, gay.
Yep.
Like you're very, very specific about this is me. Take
Here are
it.
all my boxes. Here are all my boxes. I'm a Panamanian, neurodivergent, ADHD. For those that do not know what that means, it's autistic and having ADHD.
Yep.
Um, just crazy ball of energy. Those are my
Yeah.
boxes. And so because of that, I've developed what I've called functions. And in this function, let's say you're at a grocery store, right? You're going through the checkout and the cashier asks you, "Hi, how's your day going?" I always like to reply, "Oh, I'm crazy. How are you?"
I like it.
And it's a mix of like, no, 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 I actually am feeling a little crazy right now. And also, let me break the script a little bit. And generally, people respond in one of six ways, right? From the, "Oh, that's nice," continuing on with their work, all the way up to, "Ooh, girl, me too," right? And based on their reaction is that handshake that some people may need to understand, here's how much energy I can actually devote. That person wants to engage with me. Sweet, let's talk about it, right?
I
I
love
typically
that.
reply with, "'Tis the season," right? And they're like, "Yes." And then a whole new conversation starts up, and that invites more play, that invites more fun, that invites more breakup in that monotony that might be your day.
Yeah.
And you might see that person again. And if that's your first interaction with that person, the world's your oyster at that point. You get to have whatever type of interaction you want to from there, because that person has said, "Yes, I want to." And if at any point, right, you've gotten the, that was nice. Oh, that's really, no,
Is
thank you.
that a te
Then you know.
I feel like a Southern bless your heart situation. Is that what you mean? I'm like, I don't know about Texans though. You're in a
It's
different space there.
it's interesting because I actually moved to another state at like just before the lockdown started, just before the pandemic started, and I tried things there, and it was the same. I've
Okay.
traveled to where did I went to Nevada for a friend's wedding, tried it there. It seems to be pretty universal of,
Love it.
if there is a script or if there's a culture around something, just breaking the norm just slightly, just a little bit in offensive ways, you'll end up finding a far more human reaction on the other end. And then you can make your inspired move from there and extend that olive branch and start a new relationship.
I love it. Emily, thanks for joining us this morning. Lauren, Thomas, I see you. Thanks for joining us. We got Michael Blackard here, and he's the founder of Friendom, and he's got Speed Friend dating sort of and connecting with people. You're also a life coach. And I love the idea. I get super awkward, right? I've done a radio show. I was for 25 years. So I'm used to running the conversation. I'm used to choosing what I want to talk about. I'm used to being the boss of that situation. When I'm in a friend peer situation, I get so awkward. And I love that you're giving me like little tips here of just how to flip the script and make them run the conversation for a little bit. I sometimes enter conversations where everyone knows everything about me, but I don't know anything about them. What is a better way for me to interact with people? Because I get so awkward and people wouldn't expect me to get awkward, but I do.
You know what's fun about the awkwardness? It's yours.
Yeah.
You get to
Yep.
decide what you want to do with it, right? If you want to lean into that awkwardness, a lot of people feel a lot of awkwardness nowadays.
Yeah.
And sometimes a rare thing I'll do is I'll admit that I'm feeling a little awkward. I'll slide in just all casually and be like, "Hey, I'm feeling a type of way. I'm feeling a little awkward. Do you want to be awkward with me?"
Just call it out.
Just
This
call
is
it out.
Yeah.
Like if there's a feeling that you're having right now, right? And you're running away from it, that's giving it more space to potentially expand. I am not a licensed therapist. I am not a licensed counselor. I'm none of those things. This is just what has worked for me anecdotally. It hasn't even come from my life coaching academy. This is something that I like to use of just calling out that negative emotion and then just giving it a big old hug and then inviting somebody else to give me another group hug with it too, right? And if that person's like, I'm also feeling awkward, thank you for calling that out. You both have now shared that you have something in common. And then you can talk about how do you deal with it? How have you experienced? How has this like shown up for you?
Well,
How do
we're
you
not
like
used to talking about our feelings like this. This is weird. This is uncharted territory for many humans. RTB is asking, is Friendem a site or an app? How do people find you?
Absolutely. So you can find me in multiple ways. www.friendem.net, because networking, right? Just, hey, let's build our network, right? Right?
Love it.
I also have my Instagram, which, I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm working on building content. I'm working on that. The video editing, that's just it's a lot.
It's
I enjoy it. It's
exhausting.
exhausting. It's exhausting. And I love attention. I love these kinds of situations. I do. But like from conception to actual like capture to editing to getting it out there, it's that editing part. It's that
Yeah.
editing part that's rough. But it's going to be a lot of things. Friendem is a call to action. Friendem is a one-on-one conversation. If you want to talk to me, if you want to potentially hire me to be your friend for the moment, I've got you. If you want a space to practice those skills of making friends, come to one of my speed friending events. We have them virtually and in person. If you're here in Austin, Texas, come to the Brutorium. It's an amazing place. And we actually have an event later this month on the 28th. If you are out in a remote part of the US or anywhere in the world
That's
and you
another
want
thing
practice,
because
come to the event on the 23rd. I will make
you've never
sure.
been to Cape Cod in the winter, and I can tell you a lot of people are a lonely, lonely place here because we feel isolated. We don't have a lot of tourism. It's very quiet. And while some people thrive and love that, there are a lot of people that are I'm gonna blow my brains out, lonely, crazy. This is awkward.
And that's a real problem. And that's something that I want to work with a lot more health and human services organizations and therapists and counselors with, and partner with them so that we can build your friendship network of
Mhm.
support, right? Not just your friends, but how are you building yourself? Because, just like you called out, a lot of people are suffering from that loneliness and that turns inwards and that can lead to negative emotions. I am always here. If you need help, just reach out. You can email me at hello@friendem.net, right? If you are looking for ways to upskill and rebuild that social toolbox, that's what I like to use, right? The
Love that.
function that I gave you earlier, that's part of that social toolbox of how do you say hello. And networking, right? And using networking as a means of being a social butterfly instead of maybe like staying in the corner waiting for somebody to come to you, or right, inviting somebody to be in the corner with you. Hey, I'm feeling like I need to be lonely in this space together with all these people.
Yep.
That works too. Let's
Yeah,
be cats
sometimes that's
together.
the thing for sure. Allison says, "Hi from Rockport, Massachusetts." Thanks for joining us, Allison. So you took a job. You're back to your roots. We didn't really go through your backstory of life or anything like that, but yes, we've got high energy Michael Blackard in the show today, and he's got his friendum. And you just took a new job back into the video gaming space, in which this has been your career your whole life. Is that your comfort zone?
Oh, that's a good question because
Is
I
that your
think that it
comfort zone, or it's like, I
is.
know how I can make money here, this will pay the bills while I do this, or this is my thing?
Yeah, so I guess to speed run my background, right? So I'm a video game producer for those that do not know me. My name is Michael Blackard. I've been in the games industry for 16, almost 17 years. I got my
You're
start
pumping me.
back in 2008. And I love the games industry. It's filled with wonderful, talented, amazing people. I've worked on all sorts of different games. It's been a lovely, awesome, um, just filled with adventures. And I adore it. And so the games industry is having a hard time right now, where a lot of people are getting laid off. And so I got laid off from a dream job. I wanted to be a cinematics producer. I got to work at a place called for Axis Games, excuse me, and I worked on Marvel's Midnight Suns, and it was so cool. It was so cool. And it took me 14 years to get that job, and then less than like 6 months into it, I got laid off. And
Ah,
so what's fascinating about that is I felt like the dog that caught the car. Like I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I did it. I had told everybody,
I touched
and
it.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying I touched it, I got there.
Yes.
Now what?
I just it was I was Icarus. I got close to the sun and then I
Yeah,
started falling a little bit. And it it was beautiful. It was wonderful. And when I got laid off, I spent like about 2 days mourning. I was like, what do I do? Things are crazy. And it kind of dawned on me that I'm the type of person that when you enter a space, I take the majority of people with me to the next place that I go.
yeah, I love
I
that.
had so many friends and I had so many people reaching out to me. And as I was reciprocating and reaching out to other people, I was recognizing they didn't have the level of support that I did. And
Yeah,
so friendom was born on that third day of me being laid off, and then talking to a friend of mine and saying, "Hey, I think I want to help people make friends." And that person, one, is a licensed therapist, and they grabbed me by both sides of my arms, and I went, "What's happening?" And they're like, "Yeah, you should go do that." And I'm like, "But why? Is there not like support? Is there not organization?" And she's like, "No, there's not. There are people who want to help, but they don't know how to make friends either.
yeah,
And there doesn't seem to be a way to get people there." Now, since I've started Friendom and I've done these things, there are wonderful life coaches and different organizations that do help. To name drop, like Simon Sinek, he has multiple conversations about like friendship is the next big thing, and how do we go about that, and what does friendship look like. A lot of the other organizations are focused on helping people make those friends. I want to teach people how to make friends. I want to empower people how to make friends. I also want to help people like actually make friends as well.
yeah,
But
yeah, well,
that component about teaching is something that I'm really, really passionate about. And so,
healthy friendships.
yes. Well, let me plus one that healthy friendships are integral to having friendships for a long time. Sometimes learning what is not working for you is more impactful than learning what does. Because when you learn what you don't want, then you can take that filter for everything else that you do and go get what it is that you want. So ultimately, what I'm saying in a different way is learn more about what you like and don't like.
Yeah. I feel like for me, sometimes though, I'm less discerning. I'm like, oh, more, merrier, happy, let's do it. And I recently had this energy clearing with one of my girlfriends, and she's just like, you got a lot of tethers here. You got to like slough this off. Like, you don't have to say yes to all of the things. And I'm like, but I like it. It's the space in which I'm at. I don't know why, but
And
I
you should
tend
lean
to
into
drag
it.
it with me.
No, you lean into it. You pay your own bills. You do make your own decisions.
Thank you. I
I
like
am
that.
also of the same, right? I want to make friends with everybody. I was very, very, very poor growing up. I was very fortunate for the way and the upbringing that my parents helped, but like traveling just wasn't going to be a thing that I was going to do. So like even as a young child, one of the things that I kind of promised myself was that I was going to travel the world through people. Because everybody has a
Oh,
story, everybody has a different world. So if I invite people, and this is what um has kind of been proven to me time and time again. The more you invite people to share about themselves, the more that they get excited that somebody has asked them to.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
the
the more
richer
that
that
they end up
friendship
sharing,
is.
and right, the more that you find that you have something in common, and then you start building your own. Do I want to? I think I want to experience what they've experienced too. That sounds amazing. That sounds fun. Then you start building your own bucket list, and then you start seeking those friends that'll maybe to potentially help you get there, or help you lead yourself in a different direction. There's the world's your oyster. But if you limit yourself and you limit the type of friends that you make, you're gonna be limited in that scope. So the more that you open yourself up, the more you open yourself up to those possibilities, the more the universe can give you what you need.
Yeah, well, Allison, you are right. She said it's hard to make friends as an adult. It really is. I feel like we're all kind of on our own space. And where do you meet people, right? Where do you meet people that you might like to interact with, that you might want to talk to? And at what point do you start opening up? RTB is here chatting, and him and I became friends through the radio. He just called me one day and he was saying something that wasn't working. And I was like, well, that's above my pay grade, but I'll let him know. And then immediately we just started chatting and we developed this friendship as adults, and just cultivated. And now we talk every single day.
That's so cool.
Every single day. I can't imagine my life without him. I can't even believe where he's been all of my life. And it's just one of these great friendships. There's nothing more to it. We don't need any more than just yapping with each other, complain, support, and then move on with our day. It's really lovely. Church is a great place, sure. I mean, it really depends on where you're at in your space. Where do you go most often?
You know what's funny about that question is that it's kind of self-answering, because where do you go to make friends?
Where do you go?
Wherever you are. You can make friends wherever you are. You might just need a mirror, right? You can be your own best friend. You're allowed to go through the world by yourself, and sometimes you need that alone time. But also, just using the grocery store analogy, right? Like, you can make friends anywhere. You can make
Yeah.
friends passing by. I strive whenever anybody comes to a friend event or starts a coaching session with me, I tell them that the goal isn't to make a friend. The goal is to make a friend for the moment, because a moment can end up being a lifetime. It just
Yeah.
depends on making sure that you both are getting what it is that you need.
That's a
And
fun
so,
fact.
yeah. And so one of the things that I also like to ask people is, what is it that you're interested in? And how often do you go do that interested thing that you like? And if the answer is, well, I mean, I just dabble in it, I encourage people to go seek out a community that's doing that thing, because you already have that one thing in common. So for instance, I love kickball. Kickball is the jam. So I joined a kickball league, and I have been in this league for about like 6 or 7 years, and I have made so many friends. And you're actively just playing kickball, you're actively doing things, and eventually you'll start saying hi to somebody and you're just interacting, and then a casual conversation about the game happens, and then all of a sudden you start sharing more about yourself, and over these weeks and months a friendship has been born, and you didn't make any effort into it. It just happened organically. If you're into card games, or if you're into tarot, or you want to bake bread, or if you want to do something, go seek those things out. Nourish yourself with the thing that you enjoy, and inevitably somebody will either want to teach you or learn from you, and then an organic conversation will start, and then an organic relationship will start, and you'll
I
just go
love
from
that.
there.
RTB said there are so many levels: loving yourself first, knowing what's best for you in your life in the terms of who you associate with and who you want in your life.
I want to plus one that, and also share that sometimes you can't love yourself. Sometimes you're not in a place to give yourself that hug that you need because you're going through it. And friendship is one of those things that that person knows you, and they understand your journey, and they want to support you. And if you're surrounded by the right friends, right? The friends that are going to stick with you thick and thin, they'll love you, and they'll help you rediscover how to love yourself.
Lauren says that she is self-diagnosed the same as you. She says, "It makes so much sense, and now I use the tools that I've always taught my students to use." She said it was mind-blowing. She was a kindergarten teacher. She said, "Talk about your things authentically. You'll learn so much more of unique, and also most of our conversations are surface level, which is why it's uncomfortable. But now that we're talking about it, it's more." She said, "Hire me to be a friend at the moment. This sounds like a movie."
Absolutely. Let's sell those rights. Let's get that money. Absolutely. What's so cool about surface level talk, right? Small
Yep.
talk. I think it's cool. I think it's wonderful. Is that I think we might have forgotten that it's there to protect yourself,
Yeah.
right? It's there to help you practice discernment. It's there to make sure, do I actually want to be in conversation or in a relationship with this person? It is a tool. It is there to help you. It's like micro dating. Like, I'm here. What's up? How you doing? What do you like? What are you about? You gonna order me a drink? That's cool. Let me order you a drink. I
Yeah, but
think you're
I
really
do it
cool.
out loud to myself and I freak people out. It's not good. My husband's like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Myself." "What?" "Hello,
Hey,
Dawn." She says she's staying limited. And I love you. I appreciate you. Too funny. Yeah,
I
I do
mean,
it out
I
loud.
do it. I talk to myself. Sometimes I set my toes and I'm like, Michael, you just like call out to yourself, like, Michael, no, why would you betray yourself like that?
Oh my gosh. I'm so like I didn't know I needed you in my life until I went to that EforAll class. So I was glad that I was in there. I show up an hour late because Kai told me I was in the wrong time zone. What the frig?
you know, but you show up when you're supposed to. That was the wonderful thing. It didn't matter that you were late. It mattered that we're here now.
Oh my gosh. I barreled on in. I'm like, "What's been going on, kids? I don't even know you. Let's talk about things."
I was so happy to meet you. I think you're a wonderful ball of just wonder.
God, I love it.
You're awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really happy to have you. RTP said Mel Robbins had a discussion recently on challenges in making friends as an adult because you're not among peers of the same age, right? We go through similar things in life when we're young, but then to address, oh, he was talking about Allison's statement. And that's a good point, though. We all get to these crossroads in our lives at different times. So it is weird sometimes, but some of my besties are 60 and 70 years old. We're just in different spaces of our life right now. And it's not awkward to me, but if you look at it on the surface from other people, they're like, "What? Why?"
I encourage people to make friends regardless of demographic and regardless of which checkbox, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right?
Now, the caveat being make sure that this is a safe and healthy relationship to enter in, right? If you're not feeling like this is going to work out well, please exit from that. Do not stay in some place that you do not feel comfortable or that feels unsafe. But having those friendships, regardless of age, is helpful and nourishing. Those people that are older than you are going to have different life experience and help you in ways that you would not be able to predict because you're running into these life as they're happening moments, right?
Yeah.
And they've already lived those life. And in the
Yeah.
inverse, right? If there's somebody who's younger, but you all have energy, you all have synergy, you all have pizzazz, why would you relinquish that? Why would you let that go? That's great. That's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Teach that person things that you know. We're supposed to nourish and build and invest in each other, regardless of age. It's just meant to be about fun and love and vibrance and adventures and stories and all of these things that make life worth living. Don't limit yourself. Expand.
I love it. We've got Michael Blackard talking about his business friendom and just how to make a friend. So, talk to me a little bit about your coaching aspect of things. What is like the number one tip you would give somebody on, they're having a hard time? Maybe it's themselves, maybe it's other people. Like, where do you start making friends, right? We're
Yeah,
not in kindergarten anymore. You can't be like, "Hi, my name is."
but why not? I
Um,
literally did that yesterday.
I love that.
Like that's one of those it's so empowering to remind yourself, and this is step 1, right? You get to make your rules. They're your friends. And sometimes you get to make the rules for yourself to be
Yeah.
your own best friend. And I encourage people to figure out, what are your philosophies around friends? What are the things that you need? What are the things that are a want? I'm okay with it not being a need, but it's a want. I have this want. And what are the things that you won't do, right? The needs, the wants, the won'ts. And setting those boundaries up so you know what to look for. And using that as a platform to start conversation, using that as a means of, how do I get closer to something, to that feeling of either emotional intimacy or that feeling of just being free and letting go? How do you empower yourself? And so step one, what are your philosophies? How do you want to go and make your friends? How do you want to go and be your best friend? Establish those things. And if you don't know, do it anyway. Just
I feel like I have
go
this
out there.
babushka level of friendships in my life of like, what circle are you allowed in? Like, just because of what I've done for a really long time, I feel like I've got these armed layers, and I've got like surface level friends, friends on the next, friends that are the inside, friends that know my deepest, darkest secrets that can't be let out. Those are very rare people. I think I have 2 or 3 of those, but it's just, I've got this space, and my husband's always like, you don't need to collect all of these outside surface level friends that you bring along. And I disagree. I like them all. There's a time and a place for each Stephanie that's out there, right?
So I'm going to share something a little personal, if I may.
Yeah, God, please. We're here for it.
I am a solo polyamorous person.
Okay.
For those that are new to that term, here's what that means. It means that I value myself so much that when I'm in a romantic setting, I treat myself as a partner. And I may have multiple partners. Right now, I'm monogamous with my partner I have. Love them. And that's our dynamic at the moment. But how that manifests in other places is that I love people very, very deeply. And wherever you and I have a relationship, if we stop talking for whatever reason, time and distance occurs, when we next see each other, I just pick up the relationship where it is, and we keep on going. And I understand that some people have more of like an object permanence type approach to their friendships, where if you don't exist in that space, sorry, you're not a friend. I encourage people to work through some of that, because some of that is self-imposed, whereas for others, that is just quite literally how they are wired. And so understanding that, right? The way that I break down how that shows up is in the analogy of a pool. If you're monogamous romantically, right? It is you in a pool with one other person. You're at the 6-foot end. Nobody else is swimming with you. You two are together there. Boom. In a polyamorous situation, you and a partner can be in the 6-foot end, but maybe you're dating somebody else and they're at the 4-foot, the 3-foot end. You're just starting. Maybe they're not dating the other person, but maybe that person is also dating somebody else in the pool. But determining how you all are relating to yourself and where your boundaries currently are determine where you are in the pool. In a solo polyamorous situation, everybody in that pool is swimming with me. I'm going to love you very, very deeply. I'm in the 6-foot end. We're all here. But our boundaries are going to be determined on how much we know each other and where you are in that pool, right? If I just met you, you're at the 1-foot end, and we'll build there. And I'm going to try and set you up for success in the 6-foot end and myself up for success in the 6-foot end, but recognizing this is where we're at, and I don't want to overstep a boundary. So let's talk. I always like this business term, right? We're going to form, storm, norm, perform. And that's going to be applied to any relationship, right? Like, I'm not a mind reader. I'm going to accidentally absolutely. And so in that pool analogy, right? Like my partner isn't necessarily swimming with everybody in the pool, or at least in my pool, but I am, and I'm going to love everybody deeply, and everybody's going to have their different paradigms. And that's just plus oneing why I'm giving that challenge to you of figure out your philosophies with how you want your relationships, how you want your friends, how you want to be supported, how you want to be uplifted when you need, and how you're going to uplift others and what others can expect from you. Because once you've established those kinds of things, it makes it way easier to understand, oh, I'm making a new friend. Oh, this is the ways that I can set each other up for success. Great. Let me talk to that person about what they also see as their philosophies around friendship. Are we aligned? And if we're not aligned, is that actually something that I should revisit? And then going from there as friends.
I love it. Dawn says, more friends, more problems. Maybe talk about that. Maybe you've you've partnered, maybe you're friends with this person that is negative and they bring out the negative, like together, the two of you are just, it is not a good combination. How do you move away from a situation like that? You're the life coach, you're the
Yeah.
friend person. I mean, you're in this vortex and you love this relationship, but it's deeply unhealthy for you. But you're both thriving in this chaotic, terrible space. How do you get out of this?
Absolutely. One of the cool things about coaching is that it's reflective.
Mhm.
A lot of the times people nope, restarting that sentence. There is a misconception about coaching as it's getting more regulated around the world and defined in that coaching is not going to be sharing the coach's um, opinions or wants in that moment. It
Yep.
is for us to be reflective so that the client or whoever needs and is asking for help can find out their answers for themselves.
Yep.
When you're in a situation with somebody that is not the healthiest, and you're kind of maybe you're enjoying the mess of it all, or
Yes.
maybe it's a little fun to be,
You see it
yeah,
too.
like in that constant trouble because noise is addicting and
Yeah.
noise is comfortable, and that's what you've been in for a long time. But you're recognizing that it's not healthy for you. I encourage you to sit down with what are your breaking points and figuring out is this something that I need? Is this something that I want? Is this something I won't do any longer? Right.
Yes.
And
Made me
if
laugh
you
because
can,
that's RTD says it all the time. Is this something she needs? Is this something she wants?
you know, and if you can have that conversation with that person, see if you all can get to a healthier place. But if that's something that you don't want, I empower you to figure out, and especially if you value that relationship, because I got some friends like that.
Yeah, right?
I got some friends like that. And I and
Yeah.
I and I this is going to sound weird, but I keep those people around because it helps me grow. It
Yeah.
reminds me of how far I've come and what I do and do not want. And furthermore, and I think this is the most important bit, I recognize that person for their strengths. I recognize that person for the love that they can give in the language they're giving it.
Yeah.
Because not everybody is perfect. No, nobody's perfect.
It's a beautiful thing to see though, and it's okay to encourage the space. They're gonna be them. I'm never changing that. When I'm around it, I dig right on down with them. We've got Michael Blackard on the show. We are talking about friendship. We are talking about life coaching. We are talking about just being our best selves, getting out there, meeting people. I mean, it's just a great philosophical conversation to have, right? Really thinking hard about the relationships that we do in fact have in our regular everyday life and why we have them. It's just a good reminder. I'm addicted to work. I am obsessed with, I work all day every day. It's really hard for me to figure out what it is that I like cuz I don't even know. I like working. I don't It's unhealthy. I'm working through some stuff. I do understand that. And I have to take that moment to be like, you need to be out with friends. You need to not do work. You need to read a book. You need to ride a bike. You need to do these things. And I have to have these conversations all of the time. I know it's unhealthy, but I'm having them. And I really wanted to talk with you today about just like changing that space, flipping that script. And whether it's meeting a friend or changing a behavior, they're the same energy, right? It's the same space.
Plus wanting everything that you just said. Plus it's the same energy. It's the same. Rest is work.
Yeah.
Being your own friend is also work. All of these things, adulting is a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of things. And going back to the previous bit, right, where we were talking about leaving a relationship that may not be the healthiest, or potentially not leaving because you recognize that you need this person, right? That's also work. Emotional labor is work.
Ugh.
All of this is work. And so if you're seeking balance, if you're figuring out that something isn't quite right and you're needing to nourish yourself, right? You're a creative and you can't create if you're not consuming. You have to be art in order to give art.
Thank you for that because
Yeah,
it's evil, but it's a lot. It's like
it's a
soul
lot.
sucking sometimes.
You have to rest, you have to sleep. And if you're not getting rest and you're not getting rejuvenated from the people that you have around you, I would open up that conversation with that person of like, hey, I think I'm needing a shift. Is this a journey that we can go on together, or do we need to like part ways? That's a hard conversation. People are conflict averse now. We are not having those deep philosophical conversation with each other and getting to brass tacks about how the relationship should be. A lot of people are expecting others to mind read. We're seeing a lot of this phenomenon in dating, and it happens in friendships too, where we're just wanting to have fun. The term that's kind of like left the zeitgeist, right, is positive vibes only. And it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whose positive vibes? What positive vibes?
Right?
Like, all positives is lightning. Like, remember, like, that's not how science works. No. Technically, that's all negative, but that's not the point. The point is, right? Like,
we're not going to get into the minutia.
we're not going to get. I just, you got what I'm saying.
I did.
The point is, right? Communication is about what is received, not as what is said a lot of the time. And that goes into the efforts that you make. So if you're looking for more work-life balance, what do you want in your work-life balance? How do
Right?
you get what you want? And if you want your cake and eat it too, figure out what that looks like and go get it. Because you're capable of great, wonderful, amazing things. And you go, and because you deserve it. You deserve it. You go get it because you deserve it.
I love it. RTB said, we've talked about this, being in touch and knowing your emotions and your feelings, having access to that, being able to articulate it. And it also helps being able to have those uncomfortable conversations because you're being honest. And I think that that really is what it boils down to. Are you being honest with yourself? Are you being honest with other people? Are you truly being honest? And sometimes that's ugly and messy.
And you need people who can call you out on that and can do it lovingly,
Yeah.
right? They're not doing it to bring you down. They're not doing it to make you feel less than. They're doing it because, hey, I know you want better for yourself. You're doing this thing. Is that what you intended to do? No, thank you. Oh my God. Why? Why am I doing this to myself? Right? Like, and having that experience, because those are lessons. And
Yeah.
I want to really, really urge people to avoid perfection. Perfection is a mirage. You're never going to find it. You're never going to touch it. It's not tangible. Perfection is the journey that you live through.
We live on social media though, and everything's the prettiest version of itself that we can possibly put out there because we can't let people think that.
And I have nothing to say to that because that's exactly what it
real.
is.
Exactly.
That's
And
what it
RTB
is.
said that was great. And I agree. You've been chatting with us this morning. It's Michael Blackard. He's from Friendom. I really would love to have you on as a regular guest whenever you can. I know it's ungodly o'clock where you are right now.
God doesn't exist before noon, and it is 7:17. Like,
I
he has
just
not clocked
love
in
it.
yet.
I don't know if you realize the impact that you have on some people sometimes in a space of loneliness. And I think it's really, really nice to have this conversation. And you can connect virtually if you're struggling to start those conversations. If you're struggling to put yourself out there in real life, you've got a virtual event that's coming up. So maybe talk a little bit about how that works.
Absolutely. And also to address the compliment, thank you so much. I would love to be here anytime that you want me.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. Thank you so much for having me. Oh my gosh. The next event I have coming up is on the 23rd. It is called Let's Friendom Speed Friending Virtually. Doesn't matter where you are. Come. I have several activities that I have hand designed to help you practice new ways of making friends and being better friends to yourself. I strive for an inclusive space. I am going to encourage you to let the truth set you free. And what I mean by that, right, is that's not the televised version of like, the truth will set you free. And then there's the lacrimosa of the sound, like, no. I truly mean speak your truth. Be who you are in that moment. And if you're growing, right, do your best to be kind. Do your best to be respectful. But it's going to be a space for learning and also fun and also meeting new people and reminding yourself that you're here to make a friend for the moment. And if that moment ends up being a lifetime, so much the better.
I think that that's really hard to digest for a lot of people. I think that we're used to collecting these people along our life and dragging them with us forever and ever. Like, and I think it's a hard concept for making friends in the moment, or it's an awkward or weird space being an adult and all of a sudden having this new lifelong friend that you're like, you can't get enough of each other. Well, you just found each other, right?
Yeah. Like I love those, like, wow, where have you been all my life? We're just jamming. We're synergizing. And it can be very, very alluring to fall into that trap of when you've spent so much time with that new person and then that allure goes away and you're past the storming, right? You've entered the norming and you're like, oh, that feels normal. And let me just go find the next one. No, 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 no. There's new adventures for you to go on. There's new ways that you can expand the understanding of each other and understand how you can be teammates in the next problems. It's just foundation to
Yeah.
take the next big problem to solve in your life. It's wonderful.
I love it. Good morning, Miss Jackie, joining us. I so appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Craig, I'm going to see the little cinnamon stick tonight. I am DJing a dance. You want to talk about awkward tonight? I am DJing an 8th grade dance tonight. This is the epitome of awkward. This is the toughest age of where everybody's musical taste diverges,
Yes.
everybody's clothing diverges, everybody's people starts peopling, and it's just going to be this weird space for them to just come together and be in this room, and it's their spring fling. And I am so here for it. I enjoy these moments. I
Weird
really
is wonderful.
do. Right?
You know, weird is wonderful, especially at that particular age when you're like, everything's changing and you're learning about yourself and you're getting a new personality and no, mom, right? Like you're doing all of
Inject
that.
hormones.
Yep. I'm so excited for you. That sounds like so much fun. You get to be somebody that introduces them to new music,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you get to be the person that like
This is how I feel like
That's
I've
so fun.
fostered these connections with humans on Cape Cod. I came here 22 years ago. I was stationed here. I met my husband, and he's a Falmouth Townie, but I was the local radio lady, right? And it became this like weird legendary conversation that I was having with these people. But I always did PTO dances. I always did these spaces in which people formed this bond of, she's open, she's having this conversation, we're playing weird music, and they remember it. And for whatever reason, this junior high space, I have fostered human real relationships. I was at a restaurant last night and they're like, oh my God. She's like, I'm 35 and I still have this like weird, awkward, I feel like you're my person. I feel like you're around all the time. You've been in my life. So it's been really nice. And I swear it's because it's these junior high weird moments that I'm having with people that they are now a part of my life. And I'm in theirs.
lean into it. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's wonderful, right? Like at the start of the segment, right? You were mentioning how do you get over that weird and how do you invite somebody to be
I'm
in it
weird.
with you because other people are weird too. And when
I
you're
didn't know. I feel
weird
like
matches
that's a
somebody else's
problem,
weird.
though.
You feel like it's a problem? Well,
Yeah, for me.
may I ask a coaching question?
Yeah.
How does weird show up for you?
I don't know. Well, I was raised in heteronormative, regular Catholic school. We do this, it goes in this box, it goes in this, it goes in this, it goes in this. And forever I've been bucking that and anti that my entire life. I'm like, oh, but why? But why? My friends say I'm a 9-year-old with internet access. I'm just always touching it, figuring out why. I will get sucked into it because I'm like, but I don't get it. I don't understand. Why can't we be friends? Why can't we do this? I'm that child's like adult that has never grown up.
And that
Sorry.
sounds amazing. That sounds liberating.
I don't know, but I have a spouse that is not that. So to me, I'm like this foreign weird object that he keeps around because he's fascinated by it. And he is my stable tether to, I think, just regular life. Like I'm a mom, right? I've got 5 kids. I've got all of this stuff bopping around that I have to like do and show up for. So he's my tether to that like normalcy, regular. And I'm wearing a tutu, doing whatever it is that I want to do. It's a very weird dynamic. RTB said, I gave you homework. I don't know what my homework is, RTB. I haven't figured it out yet, but I always feel like I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's my Catholic guilt. I don't know what it is.
That is valid. That is valid. So many people have said those exact words to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing it wrong. You're not. If it feels right, there is no wrong there. It's yours. It's your journey. You get to choose. Make your philosophies, figure out what you like, what you don't like. That's how it works. That's how you get to be your own best friend because you choose yourself. And if it feels weird, and weird brings you that smile that you currently have, right? Right?
Yeah.
Why would you let that go? Smiles, like, right, there's so many stories and pieces of media where like positivity powers more things.
Yep.
Positivity is life, is all of these things. Why would you ever let that go when that weird brings you all that joy? Choose that weird, choose that good, choose that awkward, choose that thing that makes you feel giddy. And if there's somebody who's going to stand in that giddy and weird with you, bring them along for as long as they want to ride, as long as you both want to ride.
Yeah, right?
Good. Good. Don't know. Figure it out as you go.
Well,
You get to
I
make the
think it's
rules.
important that we have these conversations, right? Because I think everybody's stuck in their space of I'm not doing it right. I'm not here. I'm not where I want to be. Well, how do you address the I'm not where I want to be?
With a round of applause, right? Because you have to know that there's a problem in order to solve it.
Yep.
So if you don't like where you are, do you know what you do want? And if you don't know, spend some time with yourself. Write it out. Go take yourself on a date. Go do something new. Go be spontaneous and figure out, do I like this or do I not? Does this feel like I'm running away from it? Does it feel like I'm getting closer to it? Go on an adventure of self-discovery. Empower yourself to figure out your I don't knows, because the I don't knows are usually surrounded by an emotion. So what's that emotion that keeps popping up for you? What are the things that make you feel weird, good, weird, neutral, weird, I don't like that, right?
Journal it, right? Write it
Journal it, yeah. Run the experiment, do the things. You're a scientist. Like, be emboldened to go learn and live in the though that didn't work out. Because it's the I that didn't work, that didn't feel right. That'll inform your next step to get you to what you do like. And that's all of that relationships ultimately are, is trial and error and choosing to be there with somebody, choosing those things. And if this relationship that you have that may not be healthy, that may be a little toxic, a little nasty, a little, that's not, and you don't want to be there, but you're feeling like this is the only friend that you have, no. Remove that scarcity mindset from the equation. What if you had the whole world at your disposal? What friends would you want out of that? What experiences do you want to go and experience that are new for yourself? What things can you do to be your best friend and do you a little bit more?
I love this. Eva, thank you for joining us this morning. We've been talking to Michael Blackard and we're talking about friendom. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about making meaningful ones and changing the space of your life. This has been such a wonderful conversation this morning. I really want people to be able to find you and connect with you at any of your events. So, how do people do so? And leave me a little pitch for yourself before you leave us this morning after this wonderful hour of conversation.
Absolutely. So, I'm Michael Blackard, the founder of Friendom. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here. You can find me at www.friendom.net. That's friendem.net. You can email me directly at hello@friendom.net. You can find me on Instagram at Let's Friendom, LETS Friendom. You can also find me in Austin, Texas. I have an event that is in person, that is free, at the Brutorium in North Central Texas. And yeah, that's the 28th of May at 7 p.m. If you are somewhere else in the world and you want to help yourself make some new friends and have yourself a new experience, come to my Let's Friendom Speed Friending virtually event on the 23rd. Both events are posted on Eventbrite. You can also just reach out to me on Instagram and all these other places. And Stephanie knows where to find me and all these
I
other
know. I'm
places.
going to drop it in the chat after the show is
Yeah.
over so that people can find that virtual friending event because I think that that just sounds like a good time, period. Just meet new people.
Oh, it's the best time. It's so
Right?
much fun. It's so much, and this is, of course, me biasing, of course, my own shtick. But I promise, some of the feedback that I've gotten out of some of my events, have been that their cheeks hurt from smiling so much, or they
Good.
don't remember the last time they laughed and smiled so much. Like, and that's what I want out of these events. Making friends should be fun. Yes, it might be scary. Yes, there might be a lot of anxiety. Yes, there might be some rejection, right? That rejection opens yourself up for things that feel right. That rejection that you maybe even give right to somebody else might set somebody else free to go find somebody that's more aligned with them in the moment than they need it. So instead of looking at rejection as something to be feared, instead look at it as a means of solving new problems, because now you have the space to.
So lucky to have you this morning, Michael Blackard. And I'm going to drop the chat there where you can find him for that. Happy Mother's Day to our moms out there. Hope you get everything that you've wanted. And maybe it's just a clean house that you don't trip and fall over all of the crap that's all over the place from your college daughter coming home. Oh, wait, did I say that out loud? Sean Daly is going to be on the show with us on Monday. He has just opened up the Blue Water Grill in Hyannis. And we're going to be remembering Bob Weeks, the lobster roll, the legendary Bob Weeks. And that brand new restaurant that just opened up yesterday that I got to stop on over and say congratulations. And thank you very much to everybody for joining us. If you're looking for something fun to do, we've always got something. Lemonadio.com is where you can find trivia, music bingo. Tonight we've got karaoke going on over at Dino's. So if you're looking to get out, meet a new friend, sing a tune, and embarrass yourself, we love that. Come, be messy. I've got feather boas and all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to be getting it together. Michael, you are coming back because I feel like I need you more in my life.
I'm so honored. I can't wait. I cannot wait. That sounds so exciting.
Hank is coming up with a little bit of lunch break here on Lemonadio. Have a great day, everybody. And whatever it is that you're doing, be kind. Bye.